One shot, who would you rather have taking it, Iggy or Curry?
Of everyone on Golden State, open shot, fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it. I want Iguodala. Iguodala's got ice water in his veins. Iguodala is that type of player. High leverage moment, fate of the universe on the line. I want open shot, not go get it. I want Iguodala taking that shot for me. So you're not the shooter Steph is, but I'm saying when it matters most, you're the dude I think doesn't care about that moment. Same guy, like ice water in his veins. Your response?
He crazy.
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Outside the Playbook. Special thanks to Amanda Watson of Primerica for sponsoring today's episode. Click the link down below in the description to start your financial planning journey today. We're going to be talking about something that's actually been bothering me for about 10 years. Something that comes up every time we talk about Kevin Durant and Golden State. Every time we talk about LeBron versus Steph. Every time we talk about the greatest point guard of all time. We're going to be talking about Steph Curry's legacy. Now, in 2022, the NBA Finals, everybody said that was the opportunity Steph Curry would have to finally seal his legacy, put his stamp on being one of the all-time greats, one of the greatest point guards of all time, arguably the greatest. That's a conversation for another episode. But what we're going to be talking about is his performance in that NBA Finals did not seal his legacy. What he did the previous years leading up to that moment actually sealed his legacy. If you look at the 2022 NBA Finals, 31.2 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 48, 43, 86 splits, and they win that series in 6 games. Now, what's confusing to me is how does somebody seal their legacy or finally close the chapter on a legacy that they are writing when you already have 20,000 points, 5,000 assists, 1,000 steals, 3,117 made three-pointers, and you're already labeled the greatest shooter we have ever seen in the history of basketball. 47, 43, 90 career splits, 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous, 3 rings, a 73-9 season, 8-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, and 2-time scoring champ. The only reason people say this is because of the 2015 NBA Finals. Now, when we have the conversation about that NBA Finals, everybody loves to say Iguodala deserved the MVP because he had to guard LeBron James. That absolutely bugs me because how do you go and score 16 points, 5.8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.3 steals in a series, and you get Finals MVP when the person that you're actually getting the award for guarding is putting up 35.8 points a game, 13.3 rebounds a game, 8.8 assists per game, 1.3 steals per game. Now, I get it. LeBron James is arguably the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball. He absolutely dominated the 2015 NBA Finals. We'll dive deeper into that in another episode. But my point being is you can't get credit for having to guard a guy and win the NBA Finals MVP. This is not, you played a great game, you gave great effort, you did the best that you could. This is not that type of award. This is you were the best player on the winning team. Andre Iguodala was not the best player on the winning team. That was Stephen Curry. Now, I love the fact that LeBron James gets credit for the NBA Finals performance he put on, and everybody says, you know what, quite honestly, he could have been given the NBA Finals award for MVP because he deserved it. And I don't entirely disagree. The man put up 35.8 points, 13.3 rebounds, 8.8 assists, and 1.3 steals in a losing effort. They lose 4-2. You don't have Kyrie Irving. You don't have Kevin Love. And you go out guns blazing. All the credit in the world to LeBron James for that performance. But if you look at Stephen Curry in comparison to Andre Iguodala, Steph put up 26 points a game, 5.2 rebounds, 6.3 assists per game, 1.8 steals, 44, 38, and 89 splits. Now, if I'm looking at the numbers and I'm looking at the narrative, something ain't adding up. Somebody told me that Dellavedova shut Steph Curry down. Somebody told me that Steph Curry was not showing up in the biggest moments on the biggest stage. Somebody told me that Steph Curry was not the guy that got the job done for the Golden State Warriors. And all these years, everybody's been talking about Steph Curry shrinking in the biggest moments. Well, in the biggest moments on the NBA Finals stage, you get to the fourth quarter, this is what it looks like for Stephen Curry for 6 games in the NBA Finals, his first trip to the NBA Finals. Game 1, 4 points, 3 assists. Game 2, 7 points, 2 assists. Game 3, 17 points. Game 4, 7 points. Game 5, 17 points and 3 rebounds. Game 6, 13 points, 2 assists. That is all of the fourth quarters in the NBA Finals for Stephen Curry. Steph Curry put up 11 points per game in the fourth quarter alone. That is 5 points shy of Iguodala's entire NBA Finals average. But you want me to believe that Andre Iguodala was the rightful MVP of that NBA Finals? Now, here's a lot of narratives that you can throw out. Maybe they didn't want to give it to Steph. Maybe they didn't want to crown Steph because that would mean the NBA is going to 100% completely change the way they play basketball. The NBA is going to lean into the three-point shooting game, which they ultimately did. Why? Because the Golden State Warriors won a championship with a point guard who is arguably the greatest shooter we have ever seen. I'm talking about up until 2015, that NBA Finals. And you're telling me that based on the numbers, based on the facts we have, Steph Curry's fourth quarter performance, Steph Curry's series performance, again, 26, 5.2, 6.3, 1.8, 44, 38, and 89 splits. You're telling me Steph Curry was not good enough to be NBA Finals MVP? It makes no sense. Now, we can have a conversation about LeBron James and how he was possibly robbed of being Finals MVP, but if we're sticking to giving the best player on the winning team the award, Steph Curry's legacy should have never been in question. And you know what? Even without the award, up until that point in 2022, when he was the NBA Finals MVP with 31, 6, 5, 48, 43, 86 splits, and they beat the Boston Celtics in 6 games, even without the Finals MVP award in 2015, real ones know. Steph Curry's legacy was never in question, and is quite honestly impossible to even consider that there should be anybody else in the conversation for greatest point guard of all time other than Stephen Curry and Magic Johnson. Now, I'm of the mindset that Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time, but you cannot look at this man's resume and say Steph Curry, arguably at the end of his career, could not pass Magic Johnson, because again, I read you off all of the numbers from before the 2022 NBA Finals. 20,000 points, 5,000 assists, 1K steals, 3,000 threes, 47, 43, 90 splits, 2 MVPs, 3 rings, 73-9 season, 8-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, 2-time scoring champ, greatest shooter to ever play the game. Let me know in the comments. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. That's one more for the good guys.